Nvidia's GeForce 4 MX 460 is one of those forgotten graphics cards that nobody seems to talk about anymore. But its story is extremely interesting, and I actually struggle to pick a title. The ultimate GeForce 2 GPU? Is it the best DirectX 7 GPU? Why did nobody buy it? It is rare, but is it worth getting? All of these apply to the GeForce 4 MX 460. In this video, we will try to answer all of these questions, go over the specifications, we have benchmarks comparing it against other cards from 2002, we will take a look at historic prices and what the press had to say, and there is some gameplay footage in the background to see what this card can do. 2002 is the year Nvidia launched the GeForce 4 lineup. The new flagship is the TI 4600, followed by the TI 4400. Both are DirectX 8.1 graphics cards. They offer a performance level not seen before, as well as introduce a new range of technologies such as the Infinite FX 2 engine, Lightspeed Memory Architecture 2, and AccuView anti-aliasing. The TI 4600 and 4400 were no cheap video cards, setting you back $399 for the TI 4600 and $299 for the TI 4400 when they launched. For mainstream and entry-level gamers, Nvidia had the GeForce 4 MX range of graphics cards. Naming these cards GeForce 4 was quite controversial, as all the GeForce 4 MX cards have only got a DirectX 7 GPU and lacked any support for programmable pixel and vertex shaders that even the older GeForce 3 supported. But anyway, somehow Nvidia got away with it, and in the original lineup we had three cards, the MX 460, 440 and 420. The MX 460 and 440 both came with DDR memory and only differ in clock speeds, whereas the 420 was quite a bit slower as it only came with the slower SDR memory. The GeForce 4X MX 460 has a core clock of 300 MHz and the 64 MB of DDR memory runs at 275 MHz. It has 2 pixel pipelines, 4 texture mapping units and 2 render output units. The GeForce 4 MX GPU is kinda like a hybrid between the GeForce 2 and GeForce 4. It was very highly integrated. It came with 2 integrated 350 MHz DACs for dual VGA outputs, as well as 2 TMDS transmitters for digital displays. It also comes with an integrated TV encoder, video processing engine, NVIEW support, Lightspeed Memory Architecture 2 and AccuView anti-aliasing engine. Especially OEMs loved these video cards as they were very cheap and ticked all the boxes. There's a lot more to talk about, but for now let's have a look at the benchmark results and see what the performance is like compared to other video cards. Later we will continue this story by looking at prices to get a better idea of why this video card never had a chance. Okay, let's start with 3D Mark 2000. The red cards are from ATI, of course. We got the Radeon 8500, the Radeon 8500 LE and the older Radeon 7500. The Radeon 8500 LE was priced similar to the MX 460. The green cards are all from Nvidia, of course. We've got the older GeForce 2 GTS and the GeForce 2 Ultra. Then we've got 2 GeForce 3 cards, the TI 200 and the TI 500. The TI 200 was also priced very similar to the MX 460. And then we've got the fastest card, which is the GeForce 4 TI 4200. This card was priced a little bit higher than the 460, but not much. It's around $20 more at launch. However, it wasn't available at launch. You had to wait a little bit. So in terms of performance, the MX 460 is not too bad, and we can see it matches up nicely with the GeForce 2 Ultra as well as with the GeForce 3 TI 200. But look at the Radeon 8500, it's quite a bit faster in 3D Mark 2000. Let's look at the next slide, 3D Mark 2001. We can see similar results. However, now the MX 460 is able to get a bit of a lead compared to the GeForce 2 and the TI 200. The Radeon 8500 LE is still in front, and right at the top is the TI 4200. Let's look at some games in Expendable. We've got the MX 460 here, a little bit in front of the TI 200, but behind the Radeon cards and also behind the GeForce 4 Ti 4200. In case you're wondering about the performance of the Radeon cards, back in the day, if you look at period correct reviews, the Radeon cards suffered from driver issues. Good old ATI basically. However, we don't have that issue anymore. We can use the latest and greatest drivers and they are fantastic. Also, I'm using a very fast CPU, so the Radeon cards perform actually really well under anything to do with Direct 3D. In Draken, we can see a similar picture. The MX 460 almost catches up to the GeForce 3 Ti 500. Once again, the Radeon cards and the Ti 4200 are in front. We've got Evolver here. The MX 460 is now behind the Ti 500 and kind of on the same level as the GeForce 3 Ti 200 and the GeForce 2 Ultra. And once again, the Radeon cards and the Ti 4200 are in the lead. In Quake 2, an OpenGL game, also the Radeon cards are doing really well. Here we've got the MX 460, which is on the level of the Ti 200, but behind the GeForce 3 Ti 500 and the 4200. In Quake 3, we're getting a similar picture. The Ti 200 and the MX 460 are kind of on the same level, and the Ti 500, the Ti 4200 and the Radeon cards are faster. And in Serious Sam, nothing changes much, same picture really. The Radeon cards in front, even faster than the Ti 4200, which is very interesting. And the MX 460 offers good performance just behind the Ti 500. And in MDK2, also a similar picture with the GeForce MX 460 on the same level as the GeForce 3 Ti 200, the Ti 500, the Ti 4200 and the Radeon cards are in front. And we have another game, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. We're getting 50 FPS with the MX 460. Once again, only beaten by the Ti 500 and the Ti 4200, and the Radeon cards once again very strong. And we've got some power draw results, and this is an area where the MX 460 can shine under idle. Only 73 watts, and the only card that draws a little bit less is the Radeon 7500. All the other cards consume more power. Under load, we're getting a similar picture, although the MX 460 now draws more power than the GeForce 2 GTS and the Radeon 7500, but all the other cards draw more power. So this is a very energy efficient video card. So looking at these results, the main competition for the GeForce MX 460 included the older GeForce 3 Ti 200, ATI's Radeon 8500 LE, which was simply a downclocked Radeon 8500, and the GeForce 4 Ti 4200, which wasn't available at launch, but it was announced and came out a little bit later. From what I could read in old reviews of these video cards, ATI saw that Nvidia had a pretty large performance gap between the high-end and mainstream, and that didn't have any mainstream card with DirectX 8 support. So they saw an opportunity there and launched the Radeon 8500 LE, which had all the features of the full 8500, just slightly lower clocked speeds. It was this move from ATI that forced Nvidia to make a third GeForce 4 Ti, which ended up being the Ti 4200. So the MX 460 was surrounded by lots of options. At launch, you could just get the older GeForce 3 Ti 200, which was a little bit slower, however it had full DirectX 8 compatibility. You could also switch to ATI, pick up a Radeon 8500 LE, or you could wait a few weeks and see what the GeForce 4 Ti 4200 was like. Out of all these options, the MX 460 was a poor choice. While the performance wasn't too bad, the lack of DirectX 8 compatibility made it outdated from the get-go, and it was too expensive for budget-oriented gamers and OEMs, which just went with the cheaper MX 420 and 440 cards. Looking at comments from the press back in the day, the consensus was clear. AnandTech, for example, recommended to stay away from the MX 460 and wait for the Ti 4200. Tom's Hardware also recommended to spend a little bit more to get the Ti 4200 or try finding a GeForce 3 for a good price. All of this combined means that Nvidia didn't produce many MX 460 GPUs, and this can be seen when shopping around on eBay. you will find a ton of GeForce MX cards all over the place, but the MX460 is actually not that easy to find. My MX460 was provided to me by Electromine. They have more in stock and we have a 20% discount code, details below in the description. This MX460 is Medion branded but made by MSI and comes out of a Medion PC from 2002. It has a unique yellow header at the rear of the card, which connected to a front panel drive bay for S-video and composite video inputs. At the back of the card we find two VGA outputs as well as S-video and composite TV outputs. The VGA signal quality is pretty good and I would say it's higher than on a regular GeForce 2. Personally, I see the MX460 as the ultimate DirectX 7 and GeForce 2 card. It should work great in any Windows 98 retro gaming PC. It's faster than the GeForce 2 Ultra, which can be very difficult and expensive to obtain. It draws less power, has excellent VGA signal quality and more advanced anti-aliasing options to make your old games look a little bit nicer. So this is the story of the GeForce MX 460, a short-lived card that never really had a chance because it was surrounded by alternatives that were more future-proof and faster and also didn't cost much more. And that's it for this video, guys. I'm eager to hear your thoughts of the GeForce 4 MX cards. How did Nvidia get away with it? Did you get caught out thinking it was a proper GeForce? And what do you think of the MX 460? Also, out of the cards we talked about, which one would have you gone for? Let's say you had to buy a card, you couldn't wait for the TI 4200. What would have been your pick? And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and I shall see you soon with another video.